Ni hao, what's Stephanie? Oh my god, what a weird food day I am having. I went to, where am I? Jinan. I don't know how to say this at all. Jinan. I know nan is like Nanjing. I saw the characters, or the character. And I don't know the character, but I was told it was the third tone today. Actually, the person told me it was this. And I went, oh, third tone, because I know more about the language than how to use the language. A frustrating place to be. I went to the local mall after work in an attempt to find flashcards because I think my wrists are finally on the mend. However, oh wait, I think I see a better... Sorry, that was a random pausing moment that didn't make any sense. I'm just going to put you really far away. Bye-bye. Okay, so, yeah, I went to the local mall to get flashcards, like paper actual flashcards, and some semblance of a very, very small dinner because I had breakfast and lunch and I didn't feel like a big dinner. And anyway, point being, I got this steak in a cup, which I thought, I've seen it before, but I've never ordered it. And I thought, okay, worst case scenario, there will be some tasty French fries. So it was this big, and I should have taken a picture of it, but I had that in my hand and my purse in my other hand, and I had no hands left for the for a video. Anyway, it's basically like if this were it, it's this much of, I got lemon tea here, and then they have another compartment. It's actually not set on top, but they have beef and fries and fruit with mayonnaise in the top part. If the steak were good, this actually would have been doable, but the steak was not. The fries were okay, the fruit was okay. So then in an attempt to get something in my stomach so I can go to the heated pool, I got a quesadilla at Starbucks. I didn't even know Starbucks did quesadillas. So the reason why I'm telling you this is my phone right now is sitting on a phone holder on top of a quesadilla box. I kid you not. Here, look at this. Can you see this? Here's my phone holder. And here's the quesadilla box. I'm not going to torture you with looking at the quesadilla because it doesn't look like one. Why is all this happening? Because my gimbal has arrived. Have I mentioned I don't have a lot of patience? It looks amazing, except I can't figure out how to use it yet. I'm going to have to watch a million videos. So I was going to hold this to film the video, so I didn't bring any tripod or anything else with me at work this week in Jinan. I brought this, which I can't use yet. So I'm using a box. These are the tortures of having a YouTube channel, but no patience for technology. This is an update video, despite the fact that the first 3 minutes has been about gosh knows what. Okay, so I'm still working on the reading book. I'm closing out, I'm moving lesson 1 over to review stage, and I'm starting lesson 2 today. I have a special walkabout video that I'm really excited about that we're filming on Saturday, and it's for the first time I'm looking at vocabulary and thinking what context will I see that in, and so I'm hoping the vocabulary in lesson 2 is connected to where we're scheduled to go on Saturday. I'm really hoping that works. So I have to work my butt off because it's Wednesday. I've got tonight, Thursday, today's Wednesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh gosh, basically 2.5 days because I'm almost fried tonight. We got in really late last night to Jinan. Okay, so I have about 2.5 days to familiarize myself with this, but that's fine because even 2.5 days of intense study is enough for me to recognize the characters around me on Saturday. So I am hopeful that this is going to be an interesting way to approach this. I usually I'm studying something and then I'll just walk around somewhere, and I don't actually usually try to connect the two, but I thought since there was a connection that could be made, that why not? Why not? Anyway, it's a special walkabout video, but I don't want to ruin too much of it because it's going to be on here hopefully before I leave for Spain on Monday. Okay, focus. I have to focus. I wanted to update you on how I'm studying this because it changed since the last time that I told you about it. I'm still I'm still using the Sensible Chinese method for the vocabulary, but I've rearranged the order of them. I noticed that for me, I want to hear the audio before I do anything else. And again, there's one sentence that that each lesson is based around. So for lesson one, I just showed you lesson 2. For lesson 1, my reminder, record update video, because you're 3 days too late. Whoopsie. What was I saying? This is my state this week. Wah! I shouldn't be at work. I should be on vacation already. Yay! Okay, not the point. I like hearing it first. So I'm gonna move this over here. I made very, very long notes on the process that I found that keeps my interest up, because keeping my interest up is the way that I keep going, because if I lose motivation, nothing gets done. So, what I'm doing now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 steps. 6 in Chinese. Okay. The first is I have the audio on my phone, usually in a place that isn't super easy, but that I can get to quick enough. And I play the sentence a few times, and I awkwardly say it out loud. You know what's coming. Maybe I should actually go through the steps first. Okay, so I go through the audio, I listen, repeat, and I will cover up, because the text has the Hanzi characters and then the pinyin below it, and I'll cover up the pinyin and try to listen and look at the characters so that the input is connected to the characters, not the pinyin. The pinyin is very helpful, but I want to mostly recognize the characters, because that's, generally speaking, what's around me and what I'll be seeing in the newspapers, right? I think so, yeah. So I do that. That's step 1. Step 2 is review. And the review that I have first is the mini flashcards that are at the bottom here. Now there's a problem because, well, other than my million Post-its that make up my plan, on the one side there's 4 pages to each lesson. On the first side are the characters. On the second side is the vocabulary words, are the vocabulary words. Blech. These mini flashcards are only the characters, not the words. So my workaround for that is that when I get to the words, I can just look at the characters. I can look at the words in Hanzi form and just kind of translate them and double check looking over at the characters on the other page. So it's not as easy to do as looking at these and just going one to the other, but you know what? It's all together in a place that is easy to maneuver, and so that's working so far. So 2 is the review with the mini flashcards. Basically meaning and sound. I'm not as focused on getting the tone perfect, but I do want to get the pinyin, at least at this stage, in me. Because lesson 1 was a lot of review, I'm able to do that together, the meaning and the sound. If they were all new, I would have to go back to my old thing of doing the meaning first, then when I remember the meaning of it, then the sound, then the pinyin, then the meaning, then the sound, then the pinyin, then the tones. But because a lot of these are familiar, they're kind of coming up like that. Now the audio that I'll let you listen to in a second, they do say the characters, that's so glary, they do say the characters and the words also. So I've been trying to listen to that too. Trying, because oftentimes I'll forget, which means I need to write it down on this list. I found a pencil. Okay, so I need to write it down on this list. So review, I'm just going to write listen there to remind myself to not just look at them and do it in my head, but to check with the audio, because I have that. Step 3 is input. 5 words in my input deck. I have been stinking on this due to wrist issues, but that's fine, because I was doing it for a number of days, and then I took about 2 or 3 days off, and I'll get back on track tonight. So putting 5 of those words into the input deck. When I put them in the input deck, I'm literally just putting them into the input deck in Anki, which which I didn't write down. No, that's not Anki. I'm sorry. In Pleco. I just put them in there. I'm not processing. I'm not looking at meaning. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just input, 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 save. And they're in the input deck. In step 4, I take 3 of those words and I shove them over. Well, I spend time with them in Pleco. I look at the words, the sounds, the meaning, the sentence. I decompose them within Pleco and look at what they are. I look for a sound component. I look for a meaning component. All that kind of stuff. It's sitting and processing, learning those 3 characters, which is why that's only 3. And then when I feel like I've spent enough time with one of the words, I'll move it from the input deck over to the review deck. So then I can start reviewing them once I learn them. That's the important part I forgot for months. Step 5 is review after I'm done. And I'm intentionally putting new stuff before review because new stuff takes longer for me. So the listening to the sentence is basically kind of my warm-up, getting me in the language. The review with the mini flashcards is kind of like an ego booster, reminding myself how much I remember, because those are the easier parts because they're just the characters. Then I'll be reviewing the words, and then inputting the stuff, which is kind of giving my brain a break because I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of looking at them and putting them into Pleco. And then the processing does take some time. So I'm warmed up, but I'm not exhausted yet. I'm spending time with them. I start playing with them. It gets kind of fun again. I remember why I'm doing all of this. And then I get to review, which is reviewing stuff that I should remember something of, whether it's the meaning or the sounds or something like that. So there's that. I haven't decided yet if I don't remember something completely, do I put it back into the input deck and reprocess it? Ooh, that's something I didn't think of. I don't know, maybe. If it comes up enough times that I can't remember it, maybe I should put it back in the input deck and then reprocess it. That, I think, is something that Kyle mentioned in his course, and that's something I need to think about. But most of them, I'm remembering one of the 3 things. Usually I'm remembering the meaning and the opinion, or just the meaning. And then I'll play the sounds a million times and I'll have played the sentence. So it's in context, it helps too. So I don't know how much I want to move back to the input deck because I've got 30 characters, 30 words per lesson, and there's 25 lessons. And I'm trying to do about 2 weeks per lesson-ish, 2-3 weeks per lesson. I think 2 weeks is good. Anyway, and then, so that's 5. So I'm doing that with what I showed you in a previous video. I'm doing that with the writing test in Pleco, and I'm doing it with the meaning test in Pleco. Now, because of wrist issues, I haven't done any of this for a few days. However, which is why I went looking for flashcards, because I wanted to change this process slightly for the next few weeks while I'm on vacation to give my rest as much rest as possible when I'm on vacation. So I was thinking of going paper-based, but I don't know that that would help long-term with my learning. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. I think the fact that I didn't find flashcards in the mall and I found really gross food in the process is a sign that I probably just need to limit everything else on my phone and devote what little wrist time I do spend on it with this. I think that might be the lesson in this. And then step 6 is writing practice. And what I ended up doing, I'll show you this one, is last time I did this a few days ago, I made a note of the ones that I forgot the character of when I was doing the writing test in Pleco. So, not surprisingly, Wash Stephanie. Yeah, that one's really hard. I think it's like 7 strokes, and I forgot it. I know the meaning. I'm trying the sound. I know the tone for sure. But I couldn't remember how to draw it, I keep saying draw, how to write it. So I wrote it down on here, and there's 3 others. So as I was doing the writing test, I wrote down the ones that I couldn't remember so I could review those as a 6th step, and probably maybe even as a 1st step when I come back the next time. I'm not sure where to put that one yet, because that's not one of Kyle's steps, that's one of my steps that I'm adding into the mix. So it seems like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, listening to the audio, like you'll hear in just a minute, actually doesn't take very long. It's a sentence, right? So not so bad, not so bad. The biggest issue has been the wrists, and I think what I just decided on my rest time being devoted to this instead of to researching hotels in Spain would probably be a better use of my time right now. But honestly, there's so many really, really cute Airbnbs in Spain. Okay, not the point. Where is it? If you've lost your audio file, it's been too long since you've used it. Oh, only mildly embarrassing. What is that? Okay, hold on. I'm going to find it and come back, and then I will awkwardly read to you. Oh, this is going to be bad. Get ready. Okay, so let's listen. Let's see if I get it. Nope, sorry. Here we go. Trying to skip the intro.
新编基础汉语识字篇集中识字识字一
Lesson 1.
短句我女朋友是1967年5月28号出生的，今年34岁。这个星期天是她的生日。
And a different voice.
我女朋友是1967年5月28号出生的，今年34岁。这个星期天是她的生日。
Okay, so you get the idea. So I think they're still exaggeratedly talking slow, right? I mean, that's how it sounds to me. But I do hear the chunking that they're doing with the language, which is pretty exciting that they haven't completely gone so slow that that goes away, because that's really annoying. So what I started to do in these top 2 lines here, that's the traditional, here's the traditional, sorry, not traditional, that's the simplified, that's the traditional. So I'm working on this stuff here. So with the Hansa characters, if you can see my little brackets at the top, I've started to bunch up what it sounds like, or the chunks of language that they say. For example, when they say chusheng, it's been a few days. Chusheng, is that even down? That has no tone. Why am I going down? I don't know. But it goes together. So if I were to do this, wo nu pengyo, there's kind of a pause there. And then they say sh, and that one seems kind of longer than the other ones, like sh, ijo liu chi nian. That one's still hard for me. I'm going down, but it's going up in the tones. So sh, ijo liu chi nian. I'm still going slower than they are, but it's chunked together. So if I were to do that together, it would be wo nu. Sorry, the lighting here is really bad. So I'm actually cheating right now by looking at the pinyin as well as the characters, but I actually did this in its full form just with the characters last week. Need better lighting. Anyway, here we go. Okay, that I did without the pinyin. Okay, I'm covering up the pinyin. I have to prove myself now, because I started this September 25th on this lesson, just with the vocabulary, and then I moved on to the sentence. Anyway, here we go. What is it today? October... I said the date about 6 billion times today at work. 11th. Oh my god, I've spent way more than 2 weeks on this. Okay. Time to show I've done it. Okay. Wa nu pengyo shi yi zhou liu qi nian. Oh god, that was horrible. Whoop. Or sense ooh, damn it. Sorry, I really don't curse in these videos. Anyway, whatever. I'm not a prude. I just try to keep that stuff in my podcast and the clean stuff here. Anyway, meh. Clearly I need to work on my numbers in isolation instead of by counting on them. Okay. Uyue ba how I know how. I saw that on the sign last week on the street. 出生的今年34岁。这个 oh no wait, there's a few more characters in that one. 这个 stuck on one character. 星 star, of course. 这个星期天yeah, 是 be to be, right? 是 yes, okay, sorry. 这个 I'm looking just at the characters now. I've covered up the pinyin. I swear. And I know the tones are the worst, but that's the last thing I always get to. So, yeah, if you can't listen, skip ahead a couple minutes, please. Sorry. 这个 why am I stuck on that one? Review is so important. I should have the stuff tattooed on my arm and just stare at it every day. Why am I getting stuck on that one? Xing. Why am I getting stuck on Xing? I started to say that whenever I heard anybody talking about a pop star, and now it's gone from my brain. Okay. 这个星 that's not peng. 七天是他的生日. I still can't say day. That was really hard. Okay. That's as good as it gets after a few days off due to wrist issues. Okay. The good news is the past few minutes have actually been studying time for me. So what I want to do now, I still have a fair number of the vocabulary in lesson 1 that I need to cement into my head. Every day, 3, most days. 3. Okay, fine. So what I want to do is move on to lesson 2 and do those 6 steps. At least many days until Saturday, which isn't many days. Anyway, I wanted to share my process with you because I noticed that I wanted to change the order of how I did things to kind of rev up my brain and do things that keep me motivated as I do the steps. So that's the current process on the days that I'm doing it. I don't know how to get this process off of Pleco because Pleco has so much information, and in the long term, I'm going to have all of the vocabulary from this book in there. So I don't think I can do this offline. I just have to be more strategic. Maybe I need to get one of those pens that I can use instead of using my actual hand. I don't know. I got to figure this out because I don't want to lose momentum, because last week when I could read the Hanzi without looking at the pinyin at all, it was really good because I did it day after day and I got really good at it. And obviously some of it's fallen out of my head, which is what happens. So I need to do that. The good news is I also did the exercises for that lesson, and I missed, out of 3 in the first section, I missed 1, and I'm going to go back and I made some notes as to why there. And in the next one, there's 3 questions, and I missed 1. So 1 out of 3, considering I haven't studied grammar at all, except for looking at some of the information on the 3rd page, I think is pretty good. So yeah, and I was able to piece together the language that they were using to get to the questions. The questions were like kind of fill in the blank, but not really. They were a little tricky. You know what? For the next lesson, when I get to that part, I'll give more information on that. I don't want to go back and rehash those questions right now because I want to keep moving forward due to the walkabout on Saturday that uses the new vocabulary that I have barely looked at as of yet. But I wanted to share the new process, which I'm really excited about, and I'm really excited about my vacation and all that kind of good stuff. So that's my update video this week, and that's it. That's all I have. I'm starting lesson 2 as of today. and all the vocabulary that goes with it. Wish me luck. Thank you. Also, I'm still going to keep saying this. I have a new video series on YouTube called Seconds Of. It's got short, it was 15-second videos, but I've expanded out to some 30-second videos. I saw some mall graffiti today that I thought was really cool, so I took a video of that. I'm going to be uploading that in a couple of minutes. So take a look. It's a bit different. It's not wordy at all. It's music and the visuals that I'm seeing around me in tiny, tiny, tiny little microbursts. So check it out. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't go back. That's all I can say. But I do want to let you know that that is going to be in the show notes below, just in case you might be interested. Awesome. Thanks so much for your support, your comments. I am getting to them as fast as I can, but I'm prioritizing my time online and on my phone and anything that requires my hands to be used. That sounded weirder than I meant it to. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to start practicing lesson 2. 再见。